Hello and welcome to the first Gold, Goats, and Guns short news for 2019. My name is Tom Luongo. It's Wednesday, January 2nd, and we've got a lot to talk about. Today I want to talk about Donald Trump, and I want to talk about specifically the insurrection that's growing against him already within the GOP, because it's important. Where we stand now, since Trump announced the Syria pullout and the drawdown of troops from Afghanistan, basically reversing his doubling down in August of 2017. The foreign policy establishment in the U.S. has gone ballistic. They have, people like Lindsey Graham and others have completely and utterly denounced this move, calling it reckless and horrible and a betrayal of U.S. interests and our allies, and the Kurds are going to get slaughtered, and all of this hyperbolic rhetoric. And this has been going on nonstop since he made the announcement. Apparently, Graham went to visit Trump over the weekend and got him to agree to a 4-month withdrawal of troops from the region, as opposed to 60 days, which is what the rumor was that Trump was planning. Now, this tells me a couple of things. The first is that there's likely going to be a challenge to Trump's presidency within the next few months. And that's the big news. The second thing is, and the reason is the reason I believe that is I really do believe that Graham just basically told Trump, look, if you do this, you will have no support within the GOP for it. And if the Democrats move to impeach you or remove you from office, you will get no help from us. We will abandon you. We will let them. That's how big and powerful and strong military-industrial complex is in the United States. And I really think that this is what's going on. And so now Trump has to try and walk it back slowly, the same way he walked back his statements about pulling out of Syria multiple times in the last 2 years. And every time he's had to reverse that or let it hang. And now he's on the hook. I've said from the beginning that Donald Trump is a weak person. Okay? And that he doesn't know and doesn't understand the parameters of the game that he's actually playing. And I've said this multiple times, and I've now been critical of him saying it. And I've been saying it since the beginning. And hope that he had stronger chops and wasn't such an appeaser, have such a need to be liked. Because he should have never allowed these people into his administration in the first place. He should have never cozied up to them. He should have never allowed them to get him to agree to a troop surge in Afghanistan, to backing the Saudis' war in Yemen, which is a complete humanitarian disaster, and we have massive blood on our hands for, and which Trump, as commander-in-chief, can get blamed for in any challenge to his competency as president. It doesn't matter if it's true or not, guys. This has nothing to do with reality. This has everything to do with perception and what they can sell in the media and what they can sell in Congress and in the Senate. It's impeachment, removal from office is a legal procedure. It has nothing to do with reality. So if Trump wants to stay in power, Trump has to go on the offensive here immediately. Because Mitt Romney wasn't sworn in office 24 hours, and he's got a prepackaged challenge to Trump's presidency on the pages of the Washington Post. Now, which is all the news today. So, of course, Graham and Romney, the two biggest surviving members of the GOP, now that John McCain's dead. For silence for John McCain's brain tumor. Okay, now, because those two guys are the biggest proponents of the global elite, they're the ones that are the biggest mouthpieces for the global elite. Romney, who was allowed to run for president just in case, people wanted a Republican who would not change policy, and Graham, who is always there to push the neoconservative foreign intervention angle on any policy. It does not matter what it is. Those two guys are prepping the scene now. And it's exactly what I said the moment Trump made this announcement that they would push back against him and try and remove him from office before he could actually affect the pullout. So you delay the timetable, and now you open up a longer window for Pelosi and company to build a case against Trump and remove him from power. And even if we do pull the troops out of Syria, I'll bet you they all wind up in Iraq. They don't actually wind up coming home. Bases are all still there. So we move them to Iraq, a couple hundred miles this way. We get rid of Trump. We move him right back into Syria. That's the plan. That's the bad news. The good news is that Trump looks like he's actually already countering. And he's countering with Giuliani doing the press tour yesterday saying that Julian Assange shouldn't be prosecuted. The Trump administration's policy on Julian Assange from the day he's entered office has been Assange is a criminal and should be prosecuted under U.S. law for divulging state secrets. Pompeo, Bolton, Haley, all of them, even Trump to a greater or lesser extent, they all have said the same thing. And now Giuliani, Trump's legal counsel, is saying the opposite. That's Trump saying, okay, Assange is my whole card. He's my Trump card. All puns intended. That's how I'm going to get you back. Because all he's got to do is allow Assange out. And then if they want to prosecute him, put Assange on the stand. Assange also can now bargain with what he's held back, which I'm sure Trump knows about by now, through back channels, through Dana Rohrabacher and others, of what Assange has, and Assange and WikiLeaks can release the rest of what they have. Destroying Graham, Romney, Pelosi, Feinstein, Schumer, and the rest of them. Because at that point, then the drip, drip, drip starts. And WikiLeaks should be on this right now. They should be dripping out new information right now to support Trump and get him to help his situation, because this is serious. Look, it doesn't matter that the narrative that the neocons are spinning about Syria is a lie. The Russians and the Syrians have moved into Manbij. The Turks are not moving in. They're not going to slaughter the Kurds. Putin has them under control. The whole point of this arrangement was for Erdogan, Turkish President Erdogan, to push Trump into the making the easy decision to leave Syria before it gets too chaotic. That was his goal. That was the plan. That's what they agreed to. So I'm seeing this now as the fight for Trump's presidency and for what happens and what direction America goes. Because if Trump loses this fight right here, right now, if he cannot get control and not neuter the turncoats within the GOP now, America, as we know, will be over. And so he needs to be aggressive here. He needs to go right after them. He needs to shut his Twitter account down and start making substantive moves against them. He needs to stop playing footsie with Lindsey Graham and put him in his place. He needs to set Romney down and put him in his place. He's president. Do what you're supposed to do, and that means go to the people, go to his base, and tell them where I'm not going to betray you on Syria. As a matter of fact, I'm not going to betray you on Afghanistan either, and I'm not going to betray you on. And we're pulling out of Iraq as well. We're pulling out of the entire region and letting everybody else deal with it, their own stuff, and let everyone hang, and then explain exactly what's been happening. Say flat out, Lindsey Graham just threatened me and my family with everything. He just threatened me over the Syria pullout. This is what's going on behind the scenes. This is who these people are. This is who you elect. This is who the media puts in front of us. He needs to go right to the people and go right around these people so that he makes the popular argument when they say he's the worst president ever. Fine, you go to jail. Because that's what has to happen. If these people are acting in every way, in some manner, illegally or, he can easily make a treason argument. This is not hard. They keep playing these games because they think they have power. At the end of the day, he is the president. The president has so much power, and some of it is quite scary. They've handed it to him because they gave it all to Obama to get the stuff that they wanted done. Now it can be turned back against them by a Trump. But he has to be aggressive here because they're going to pull out every stop in the world. And if you think that they've been unfair to him to this point, you ain't seen nothing yet. All right, this has been the Gold, Goats, and Guns short news for Wednesday, January 2nd, 2019. If you like what you heard today, please give a like and subscribe down below. That'd be fantastic. I'll be on tomorrow night, 10 o'clock on Halsey News' live stream, as well as we will do our own live stream here on Friday night at 8:30. You can follow me on Twitter at TFL1728, and you can follow my blog over at tomluongo.me. You guys have a great afternoon. You take care. You be well. Keep your stick on the ice.